Hello everyone. I thought I'd record a short video as we head into the autumn and want to encourage you but also to raise some challenge as well. It continues to be a very challenging time for us on a national level, an international level and also a local level. I'm really pleased that we're connecting with the front line of things. You know, we've got so much going on across the network where we are supporting people, encouraging others, we're sharing faith, we are serving people who are in quite challenging circumstances, and we're doing that because we love Jesus and we're called to live his way. One of the things that we describe for ourselves is that we are called to live the gospel and to serve the health and well-being of our communities. That's a nice catch-all phrase for us as a network of churches that gathers under the name of Christchurch Bridlington Network, CCBN. That's just a kind of a way of saying this is what we gather under, and we've got so many different things, so many different ways of being church and of engaging with our communities across a wide area, that it's continually helpful to remind ourselves that it's all about living out the gospel of Jesus Christ, sharing his good news and demonstrating it in acts of service to others, to the communities that we're called to be part of. A while ago, a friend of mine made the observation that we'd been in a long period of time of survival mode, and that's a very good way of looking at things as a church network, as all the different churches that make up this network. It certainly felt like that at times over the last few years. Survival mode is well, it's great because it probably means you're surviving, but it's not what the gospel's all about. The gospel is all about living and living in the way that Jesus lived. And he said, you know, maybe it's time to move from giving for survival to giving for living, and that really lodged in my head. And some months later, we began to talk about how we'd want to share about finances and giving in these days, and that little phrase came back to mind again: giving for living. We've just been working on a leaflet that is going to be spread around across the network, and hopefully helpfully enabling us to understand how we are all drawn together into giving for living, at a time especially when it seems like everything is less and limits and loss. And so I really commend this leaflet to you as a really helpful way of talking about how we use our financial resources, and everyone has financial resources, however little, how we are able to give for living rather than keep being drawn into survival mode. And so I want to commend this to you, and I want to encourage you to read it thoughtfully and carefully, and make a response in the coming weeks. You know, one of the things I'm very aware of is that we often have the narrative around here that we kind of feel like we haven't got very much, or we've got nothing. And actually we've got a lot. We've got a lot in terms of the resources that God has, and we've got a lot to be able to give to the world around us, and that's what we're called to do, even though the messages so often are about lack and about how little we've got. And so I want to remind you of some of the key things about giving. What does giving for living look like? Giving for living looks like being planned and thoughtful about it. Jesus had people around him who were prepared to invest in him and the disciples in the mission and ministry that he was about in his earthly life amongst us. And their support was planned. There was thoughtfulness around it, and we need to ask the question: are we planned? It's also giving for living is something about giving so that others may have life. So we're giving from the resources that we've been given by God to be able to invest in the lives of others, and we do loads of that through our network, and so we need to keep doing that. It's also for mission and maintenance. We've got lots of buildings in our network, and they're amazing and fantastic to be able to use to serve others, but they also cost a lot to maintain. We've got various different ways of connecting with people that also rely heavily upon having resources in place. And so we give for mission and maintenance, and the two go together. And so what we give to will sometimes be quite mundane, quite ordinary, and yet really important, because it means that we can keep the heating on at a time when people are going to need heating, and that we provide facilities that otherwise people would struggle. And finally, giving for living is generous and it's joyful. It's cheerful, as the Bible says. Nobody is compelled to give, but we're invited to give joyfully and generously. And I do want to encourage you to reflect on giving for living. Reflect on what God's calling you to do in this area and how to respond. And certainly to read this leaflet, which is really specifically designed for across the network. It's not just Christ churches, it's for all of our different network churches, to help us to see that kind of actually we want to really respond in these times with thoughtfulness and planning and generosity. So I submit this to you. I think it's a really useful leaflet to read, and I hope it encourages you as well as challenges you. Thanks for all that you're doing in supporting this amazing network of churches. I'm nearly 5 years on here, and I love being around you all, and I love being part of what God is doing in this area.